Chapter 3547. When Charlie repaired Joseph's fourth meridian, Luther could no longer see Joseph's cultivation. The only ones who could see Joseph's cultivation were the few five-star commanders left in the cataclysmic front. As for Harmon and Walter, the two iron wastes, have completely rested. When the fifth meridian of Joseph was also repaired, no one could tell his current real cultivation except Charlie. Immediately after that, the remaining meridians were also restored one by one. It felt like the 8 meridians that he had just broken were completely restored as before. What was even more unimaginable to Joseph was that his 8 meridians had been blessed by the disaster, and after recovering one by one, they all reached a state of great perfection. Now Joseph was no longer an 8-star martial artist, he had entered the Ming realm, the realm of great perfection. His benefactor, who had gone from an 8-star martial artist to the great perfection of the Ming realm, had taken more than 10 years. However, with Charlie's help, it only took him a few minutes. Such a huge improvement in an instant made him incomparably shocked inside, and he even had a feeling of being in a different world. If this thing hadn't really happened to him, he absolutely couldn't believe that there was such a powerful ability in this world. He could feel that what Charlie used was much more powerful and magical energy than internal force. This reminded him of what his mentor said back then. He said that in this world, martial artists are only the lowest level of power above ordinary people. Above the martial artist, there are many systems of power far beyond the martial path, which for martial artists, most likely never have the chance to touch in their lifetime. Seeing that Charlie had such a divine ability, he was immediately certain that Charlie's power system was definitely not the set of martial artists, but a great divine ability that was a layer higher than martial arts, or even a few layers higher. As if reborn, he once again heavily kowtowed to Charlie and said gratefully, "Mr. Wade, thank you for your rebuilding grace. Now that your subordinate has reached the full completion of the Ming realm, I will definitely do everything I can for you for the rest of my life, and I will die even if the time comes." Joseph's words struck all the martial artists present like a thunderbolt. Who would dare to believe that Charlie not only helped Joseph recover his meridians but also allowed him to ascend to the heavens in one step and become a Ming realm great perfection? Who would have dared to believe that in this life, there was a chance to see a top martial artist of the Ming realm with his own eyes? He thought that just now, Charlie's restoration of Joseph's meridian was already a miracle, but never thought that the real miracle was here. To break and then stand, to stand to perfection, this was simply a great miracle that turned decay into magic. For a while, countless people looked up to Charlie even in more days, and at the same time were envious of Joseph, feeling that Joseph had simply met the most precious chance in the world. In fact, Charlie did not want to help Joseph to improve his cultivation, but his meridians had already passed 8, but basically did not enter the great perfection realm completely unobstructed. This time, after breaking, he directly allowed all meridians to completely open up after the reconstruction of true Qi. With all 8 meridians unblocked, it was only natural that Joseph became a top martial artist in the Ming realm. However, Charlie did not take advantage of Joseph for nothing. Chapter 3548. The reason is that from today onwards, Joseph no longer has his own life. Because all of his time and energy for the rest of his life would be used to serve Charlie. Therefore, Charlie looked at him, nodded slightly, and said indifferently, "Just remember this statement about yourself, otherwise, I can ascend you with a chance and also beat you back to your original form." Joseph, incomparably pious, offhandedly said, "Mr. Wade, don't worry. If your subordinate breaks the oath in the future, I will definitely die without a burial place." Charlie nodded and looked at the ruined Harmon and the imprisoned Walter, and said indifferently, "You two should reflect on yourselves in the next few days, and when you arrive at Oris Hill, I will give you a chance to reform." so that you will be restored to your original state, but you must also remember that if you dare to have any disloyal thoughts, I will also make your life worse than death. Harmon heard these words, immediately howled, choked, "Please do not worry, Mr. Wade. Your subordinates will definitely go through fire and boiling water for you in the future." Walter's consciousness had already been closed up again, and he stood mute in place for a while. But his consciousness trapped in his body, at this time, has also been excited beyond measure. To him, as long as this life-begging and death-begging could end, he would have no complaints whatsoever about what he is told to do. Joseph did not expect that Charlie had spared his two deeply affectionate comrades, and immediately said gratefully, "Mr. Wade, your great kindness, they will not forget." Charlie nodded slightly and said, "Listen, about today's incident, when people ask about Cataclysmic Front and the Wade family, say that the misunderstanding between the two families back then has been completely lifted. From now on, Cataclysmic Front and the Wade family are clear of the old grudge, no longer have any new hatred. As for everything that happened today, no one can disclose it to the public." Joseph immediately said, "I will announce it to the public later." Charlie nodded and said, "At that time, the outside world will definitely speculate how the Wade family escaped this calamity, and the Cataclysmic Front will then release the news to the public, saying that the Wade family gave half of the Wade group to the Cataclysmic Front in exchange for the grievances of the Cataclysmic Front." Joseph and all the commanders of the Cataclysmic Front were extremely puzzled. No one understood this. That why Charlie, who had clearly won a great victory over the Cataclysmic Front, had to declare to the public that it was the Wade family that had given in to the Cataclysmic Front. But Joseph understood that Charlie must have his reasons for doing so, and all he had to do was to carry out 100% of any orders he gave, and not to ask more questions. So, he immediately said respectfully, "Mr. Wade, don't worry, your subordinates will definitely announce it to the public as you said." Jonquan sounded puzzled and asked, "Charlie, this is the best opportunity for you to officially return to the Wade family, if you declare that the Cataclysmic Front has pledged allegiance to you. Then the Wade family's fame will be absolutely unmatched in the country. Such a good opportunity, why do you want others to think that our Wade family has gone soft?" Charlie said lightly, "Cataclysmic Front in the future is a surprise army in my hands. If the news of the collection of Cataclysmic Fronts is directly released, it is only in vain to increase some false name. In addition to this will not have any benefit, on the contrary, it is likely that we will get the attention of the unwanted eyes. Rather than this, it is better to keep a low profile, hidden in the dark. Let the outside world think that the Wade family has bowed down to the Cataclysmic Front. The vitality is greatly wounded, so that not only can let the hidden enemies relax, in case there is any big battle in the future need the Cataclysmic Front to step out, also can use it to attack unprepared, unexpected." Jonquan understood Charlie's intention and hurriedly asked, "Charlie, are you still not ready to announce your official return to the Wade family this time?" Charlie said, "For the time being, it's not time to announce it to the public. I want to find out the truth about the murder of my parents, and also find an opportunity to feel the bottom of the Rothschild family. Before I get to the bottom of it, I can't take the initiative to expose myself, and we can't take the initiative to hand over the strategic advantage to the enemy." Jonquan nodded gently and asked him, "Then how do I announce the change of the Wade family's head to the public?" Charlie said, "There is no need to deliberately announce this matter to the public. In the future, I will actually take charge of the Wade family's big and small affairs, but on the surface, you are still the Wade family's head." Jonquan agreed and said, "Okay. Then I will not announce it for now." Charlie looked at the crowd behind, once again, arched his hand, and said seriously, "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for coming to Wade Waderest today for me. But I also ask you all to do me a favor and not leak everything that happened on Waderest today to the outside world. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for new updates." Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and leave a comment. Thank you very much. God bless and keep safe everyone.